Hello, this is Thomas K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos, and today I'm at Mount Mitchell State Park, and I'm getting ready to walk up to the summit to do a SOTA activation. It's not too busy this morning. It's around 9 o'clock a.m. This is a Friday morning, November 4th, 2022, and Mount Mitchell is the highest summit east of the Mississippi. Here, I mean, it's actually the highest summit in the eastern half of North America. And so it's like a very high point summit for the SOTA system, but it's actually one of the easiest summits to get to. In fact, the parking area I was just in is almost within the activation zone. I'm within it right now, really. But we're going to walk up to the true summit. I will not do an activation at the true summit. Park rangers here really don't like that because it's usually busy up there. It's not going to be too busy this morning, I don't think. Ooh, that sun's bright. It's not going to be too busy up here this morning, but it can get very busy. Sorry, the sun is really, really bright this morning at a very low angle. It was in my face as I was driving up here. It feels wonderful this morning. Last time I came up here, the weather was sort of opposite of what it is today. Last time, it was a good, probably 15 degrees colder than at my QTH, which is at about 3,300 feet above sea level. And today, sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. Today, I've been sitting in the car all this time. Today, it's actually, we're having inversion today. So I think right here on the summit, it's about 48 degrees Fahrenheit. Down in the valley right now, it's about 40 degrees. It's one of those rare times that it's actually warmer up here. Now, despite the fact I'm huffing and puffing right now, this is a very accessible summit. This is actually easy for someone with disabilities to get up. If you've got a good wheelchair and some support, you could probably do it. I mean, the view is absolutely stunning, isn't it? Check that out. That's inversion. You can see all those fogs. The fog and the clouds. That's why. So typically, if you came up here during the day, this would be pretty busy. But not in the morning. The reason I'm huffing and puffing is I'm lagging it because I've got a very short period of time to do this activation. Isn't this beautiful? Mount Mitchell's truly a treasure. I'm gonna walk up here and show you around. Have a nice observation up here. It is amazing up here. I love this place. I come up here with Hazel, my dog, and I always take her and pick her up and hold her on one of those benches. I stand on top of one of those benches and I hold her up and I tell her that she is the highest dog east of the Mississippi. I don't think Hazel totally gets that, but she likes me picking her up, so she doesn't mind. They used to have an older observation tower up here, and it was a little bit on the rougher side. It's kind of dark and cold, and this one's so nice. I love the fact that it's handicap accessible here now. Such a bonus. Sorry, I was going a little too fast coming up here. I'm in a hurry, so I did not plan to do Mount Mitchell today, but I'm heading out to visit my folks for a night or two, help them with some projects, some errands and things they need, some appointments. Oh man, this is so stunning. I love Mount Mitchell. I love it up here. It reminds me of Canada, actually. The flora is very similar, kind of very arboreal. It's very beautiful. Oh, just look at that. This is the reason why you do summit activations or views like this in the morning. Yeah, so anyway, I am heading out to help my folks, and I need to do all of my activating in the morning. And I plan to hit 2 parks on my way. But I looked at the weather and it was surprisingly warmish at the house, like I said, and I noticed that there was inversion. When I looked out our window, I could see that there was kind of fog and cloud below us. And so then I quickly checked the Mount Mitchell temperatures, and they were warmer than our house. And I had to take advantage of that. I haven't been out to activate Mount Mitchell this year yet. I've been up here several times, but not to activate, just to be with family and stuff. And I'm running out of time to activate because we're at the beginning of November, and here very soon, Mount Mitchell will be inaccessible by the parkway. So what I tend to do is I take this Balsam Nature Trail. It's one of my favorite little trails around here. There are several. There's some just breathtaking trails, and I love hiking them, but I don't have the time to do it this morning, which is a little bittersweet. I wish I did. But I just go up here, and just off to the side, well within the activation zone, there's a nice spot I like to set up. And I'm going to do that now. I'm excited today, actually. I've got a couple of new pieces of gear, a field kit. And, oh yeah, this tells about the, what's killing the trees, which is the woolly adelgid, which is it's a little critter that took out all of our Carolina hemlocks, unfortunately, and it's really sad. But you'll see a lot of dead hemlocks up here, and it's just that little invasive species that did all that. But it's still nonetheless very beautiful. Now I'm going to turn off the camera because I realized I need to go back up and take a few photos, and then I'm going to set up and get ready. I'll be back in a second. All right, so I've got a nice little spot here to set up, and I thought I'd show you sort of the new pieces of kit I may be trying today. First of all, you guys know I'm a really big fan of knee boards, and I really owe a huge debt of gratitude to Carol Ann N0 RNM. She sent me a knee board last year, I think it was in the summer of last year, that she 3D printed, and it has become an invaluable tool to me when I'm doing summit activations, because I'm usually using a really lightweight radio like my KX2. I set it on my knee board, and I log and do everything on my knee board, and it just saves so much hassle, and it's just more comfortable and more convenient to use. Well, Carol Ann made that. It's just a kind of homebrew project, specifically designed to fit in a Red Ox Booty Boss, which is a waist pack that one of my favorite pack companies, Red Ox, makes. And she knew I had one, so she sent me one. And it really did become just such an invaluable part of my field kit that I use. And it was kind of a blessing and a curse all at the same time, because I got so many questions about my knee board from people who wanted to buy one or make one even. And Carol Ann was just not in a position to actually design and start producing these. And but I've gotten so many questions about them over the years that I checked in with my good friend Joshua, Ko4AWH, who runs a company called Tufteln. You've seen me use his antennas before, that sort of thing. Joshua is a friend, and full disclosure, we just got back, in fact, just a few weeks ago from the W4G SOTA camp out in North Georgia, and we camped together and hiked together and everything during that trip, and got to talk a lot of radio and all about kit and everything. And he's just such a cool guy, and really has his heart into this stuff. It's a side business for him, just something fun to do, to put out products there in the amateur radio community. And we have so many great companies like that, and I love promoting them, like Pactena, like Tufteln, and just so many others. There are so many other small players out there that do amazing work and build, amazing products. Well, Joshua, I went to him with Carol Ann and said, Carol Ann's not in a position to make these, but everybody wants one. Do you think you could 3D print one? And maybe even do a few design improvements, because Carol Ann just had one specific thing in mind with hers, which was using it with the KX2, using it out of that one little tiny field pack. And so he started messing with it, and this is a prototype knee board that he's designed, and it's 3D printed. Now, in truth, this is the sort of thing you really want to do. You want to tool up and do injection molding and that sort of thing for. Because it uses quite a lot of filament to make these. It doesn't look like it, they're pretty thin, but it uses quite a bit of filament to make it rigid and strong. There's some design work in this. And so he took Carol Ann's design, worked on it, and has been going back and forth with me about it. And this is a prototype. So possibly by the time this video's out, he may have these for sale. I don't know. We're tweaking it. I'm trying it in the field for the very first time, actually. This is the first time I've gotten a chance to really take it out and play with it. So I'm looking forward to it, to see how it works. It actually has attachment points here, so you can put bigger radios on it, and there are rubber bands, or sort of compression strap things that run through here. I'm not using those today because I don't think I'll need them for my KX2, but they do have those. So you can put like a TX500 on here. You could put probably any of the Xiegu products. You can stick any of these on here and it'll hold it down. It's very, very clever design he's done here with this. Very, very clever. I think he's going to make it out of a different material. I don't know what the color will be or anything. I haven't even talked to Joshua about it today. I just decided to take this out since I was doing a summit activation. So we'll see how this works, and hopefully this will be available. This is not going to be, I'm guessing, I haven't actually talked to Joshua about this in any detail, but it takes a lot of time to print these, and it takes a fair amount of material. It's not as efficient as doing injection molding, but injection molding, the tool-up process, can be extremely expensive to do. So instead of doing that, I think 3D printing is just kind of more accessible. But I have no clue what the price will be on these, but whatever it is, it's worth it. These are wonderful. Knee boards are not a new thing. Pilots have been using them for ages. Other people that work in the field use various types of knee boards and clipboards on their knees. But this is one kind of specifically designed with amateur radio in mind, which is kind of cool. Now, that's the first product. Now, the second product is something Joshua just sent me to evaluate. He's not making these yet, and I haven't even taken it out of the package yet. This is an antenna I asked him to make inadvertently. Actually, what I did was I wrote to him, and you may know that I'm a really big fan of random wire antennas that I can use with my KX2, my Xiegu X5105, and those that where I just take two 28.5 foot lengths of wire and connect it to a BNC binding post adapter like this, and then I connect that to the side of the radio like that, and we all use that. It's very handy, it works really well. But the one thing I've got to admit, when I'm using a knee board in the field, my KX2 sitting here on the knee board, it's usually pretty stable, but I can't help but think, what if I jumped up or it fell off or something? I feel like this is a lot of leverage and could actually maybe damage the radio if it fell and it landed on this. I wouldn't worry about it at all on a picnic table or anything like that, but just, my knee board and for SOTA stuff. So I asked him, I said, could you make something really low profile that would replace this. And so this is what he came up with. It's this, and I haven't even taken it out yet. I have not unrolled this or anything, but it's basically a little small BNC plug here that you put on the side of the radio, and it is connected to two 28.5-foot pieces of wire. One's a radiator, one's the counterpoise, and he's marked those on here so you know which one. It winds up very small because this is 26 gauge wire, and I'm going to give it a go today and see how well it works. Hoping it will, because I want to get this activation done in short order, and I may just stick to 20 meters today, I think. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll have time to mess around because I want to try to fit in one more activation. I've got 2 errands to run on the way to visit my folks today, so I've got a lot to get done. So without further ado, I'm going to get this thing set up and get on the air. That's a really thick canopy. I still have no problem putting these up in it. But I would tell you, this is an 8-ounce weight. I would not use this if I were throwing it really high up into a tree, because just the weight of the line and everything else, if you're going into a high tree with kind of really thick foliage, it could get stuck in there. That's when you want a heavier weight. For stuff like this, for a SOTA Summit, this is perfect. So let's unwind this thing now. I have to put my glasses on to see what I'm doing here. But basically, now I haven't unwound this, so I don't know how he wound this up. Let's find out. Okay, so let's see. This is going to be the radiator on this side, because he labeled it with, he's very clever. He labeled this with the red heat shrink. So what I'll do is go ahead and tie it to the end of this. Now, since it is kind of thick, I'm not going to use one of those S-hooks that's on there. He actually included 2 S-hooks with this. I'm just going to put it directly on the wire. Less likely to get snagged, cause any kind of problem. So that's what we'll do. There we go. That's the end of the wire there. Hopefully you can see that. And now I'll unfurl this in a way that I'm not worried about it getting caught up. Whoops. Okay. Let's see. I said that, but I didn't do it correctly. Here we go. This is one of the troubles of managing wire antennas, but these wire winders are amazing. And I'm not too worried about how this looks when it goes up. So here's what the actual end piece looks like. See, it's much lower profile. I feel like if my radio fell over, this wouldn't cause damage. There's not enough leverage here to cause damage. So it's got some good strain relief built into it. I like this. I really like this. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this up, and then I'll deploy the counterpoise. I'm pretty sure that that is about as far as I'll be able to make that go. Now I'm going to unwind the counterpoise and try to, let's get my phone out here. I'm pretty sure that's east and west. I'm probably going to lay the line out that way. So my counterpoise is essentially going on an eastern, western, yeah. Actually, I'm going to put I'll just put my counterpoise straight up that way. That should work fine. That'll be basically north, which basically, I think hypothetically, will give me east-west orientation, maybe, who knows. It's so nice up here this morning. I can tell you now, this is probably the last nice day that they'll have up here. I really did strike it on the right day. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up to my radio just so I can kind of feel the tug when I've got it going here. Here we go. Okay, let me just lay this counterpoise out. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I've got this hooked up to the radio. Of course, I need to get my knee board out, need to get everything ready. But I like that, very low profile. Now, of course, you could build something like this. If you got a 3D printer, you could make it. You could fabricate something like this very easily. It's very simple. But I think it's just a really cool thing. It's just a lot easier to manage. I can stick this in my pack. It's a little harder for me to use 2 coils of wire separate from this. You know, I don't know. But I like this. We'll see how it works today. And yeah, so let me get set up and we'll hop on the air. Okay, I'm back and set up. I think I'm ready to go now. And I love the knee board. This is fantastic. Very stable, very nice. I like it. Hopefully you'll be able to hear everything. I have not tuned the antenna yet. I've got hammers set up. I put a fake call sign in here, KX2, that I'll remove later. So it's going to show 1 QSO more than that, because mainly I find that when I record 1, if I move off the screen to do something else, like spot myself or something, and I come back, sometimes it will have lost all the information. But if I put 1 call sign in there, even if it's fake, it'll hold everything for me. So later I'll go back and take these out. I'm going to try to live log on the side with this. We'll see how that goes. I really don't enjoy doing that with my phone, but with SOTA activations and stuff, if this gets busy, it's just nice later to be able to easily upload my logs. Okay, let's see. First of all, let's tune. I haven't heard anybody here. I've been sitting here for a while. This is very good, Matt. I like this. Oh, it's in bypass mode. That's right. I was using a ATU mode auto. .6 to 1. Let's see if I can get it even better. Yeah, 1 to 1. I knew it probably would. There we go. Let's go ahead and start calling CQ. So this is actually a SOTA and a POTA activation. This is Mount Mitchell State Park, K2747, and SOTA W4C CM001. But I'll call SOTA because that's probably the people who will want to work this most, I'm guessing. I'm also on a new 3-legged folding trail stool. I bought one like Joshua had when I was with him on the SOTA camp out. It's slightly higher than my other REI one. I got this one at REI as well. We'll see if it tosses me over today. The ground here's soft, and that's not good for these 3-legged stools. They tend to sink in, and the next thing you know, you're like falling backwards. So I'm using that to help me I've got my Canadian calling there still. It wouldn't be an activation without Christian. Ooh, Pileup. Okay, well. Oh, right, okay. Okay. Oh, dot, okay. Maybe I got that wrong. Gosh, there's so many. How did I get that so wrong? Oh, I think I got that one. Good to get you in there, Carl. These are his initials. Did I hear that? Okay. Okay, I think I got a KN out of that. Okay. I gotta do that again. Okay, hang on. Let's try this. Is that right? Okay, let's try this. This one battle. That's who I was going for there. Okay, let's see if I can get this. Okay, hang on. Okay, hang on. N5. N. Okay, there's no N at the end. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. How did I do that? Okay. Okay. Did I hear J5? There are no shortage. No shortage of chasers this morning. I'm not writing the time down very well here because I'm so busy. If I had my other memory in here, I could do that. Okay. Okay, I hear there's an I'll get to this S2S here in just a second. So there's an S2S. Okay. Now I'll wait for this to get out of the way, and then I'll send my... No, no, no. I want to hear... I know I heard an S2S in there. Ooh, he came up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, okay. Make sure I got that right. I try to go for weaker signals when I hear them. Okay, is that right? Oh, okay, it's... How did I get that wrong? Good to get you in the logs again. Back up here out if this was. Let me try one more time. Got him. I can't do this on two hands, can I? Nope. Good to get you in the logs there, man. Okay, I'm turning this off, and the reason I got to do it is I am in a hurry. I'm looking at the time right now, and I need to bolt. Now, I just took off the extra KX2 one that I had at the bottom of my logs here, so I had a total of 31 logged. I don't know if this will pull up the proper map or not. It usually doesn't show like my European contacts or anything. I don't have very good internet connection here. It's like a one bar, so it doesn't always pull these things in, but a really nice dispersal. I would say this antenna works well. It works as well as my other 28.5 foot antenna. It's just the convenience of this. So I really like this. Now, I will say one thing. This was a pileup. Now, things I can't mention in the middle of a pileup because my brain is just going about 100 miles an hour is there's a technique I have for pileups, and I think probably other people do the same thing. And I've gotten a lot of messages recently from readers and subscribers who are a little concerned about pileups, actually. And they're intimidating. Let's face it. They really are kind of intimidating. You're just learning CW. You're just trying to figure everything out. And then all of a sudden you've got, just this overwhelming, amount of CW contacts coming in all at once. So how do you manage that, right? It's actually very simple. Once you start doing CW contacts, I actually found I was worried about pileups myself, so much so that on my first activation, I used a very compromised antenna. I went to I went to the Blue Ridge Parkway, which had been activated about a bazillion times, thinking it wouldn't be rare. And I really tried to do everything I could to keep the number of contacts down so that I could manage it. And I'm glad I did that my first time. However, the very first time I actually had a pileup, it really wasn't a big deal at the end of the day. It just wasn't. Your brain kind of adapts to this. And what I find helps me, and I'm going to pack up as I'm talking here, though, you know what? I need to take a photo here. Both of my logs and the radio, but I'm going to turn this down so I can't hear anyone if they're actually contacting me, because I know me and I want to work them. I hate to leave someone sitting. Let me take some pictures. I always forget to do this, and I want to take a picture. You'll see this in my field report. And by the way, always check in the description below for a link to qrpeer.com, where I'll have a full field report describing all of this. And it just is a great way to kind of get more information about why I chose this park or summit and how I did the activation, all of the links to all the gear. I can't right now make any kind of promises about the kneeboard, because frankly, it's brand new. Like, this is a prototype. At the time of posting this, Joshua doesn't have these for sale or anything. It's a total prototype. So I can't really comment on price or anything, but the good news is they're coming available. And Joshua is such a good guy. Now, I got to know him, and one of the things I like about him is, you know, he's doing this as just to give people an option to have some kind of cool kit that works really well that he makes, and he enjoys doing it. It's just something he enjoys, he's passionate about. When I told him about this project with the knee board, he was insistent upon, he really loved the idea of doing it. And he knew it would take a lot of filament. He knew it would take a little engineering time and everything. But he's actually sharing any profits he makes with Carol Ann, N0RNM, just because she kind of, you know, was the one that sparked the idea. And he's going to do that. In fact, on his prototype, he even has her call sign and the name of his company, which I think is really nice. Carol Ann's a super, super nice person, and so is Joshua. So it's fine in my position to have these friends that I can kind of link together, and maybe something beneficial comes out of that. I've always been a big believer in that I don't have to be a super smart or super innovative guy, but I try to surround myself with people who are. And I think that both Joshua and Carol Ann fit that description. Both really cool people and real field operators. So as soon as there's information about this, and hopefully maybe by the time I get this activation out, this will actually be available. It has a sticky pad. Now, Carol Ann's sticky pad is one that just sits on here. It is stickier, like you can wash it and it becomes really rubbery and sticky. However, it does kind of fall out when you fold up the pad and you have to wash it all the time. Joshua tried to find a pad that had enough grip that works really well. Plus, we have these contact points. You'll see me when I put a TX500 on here or something, how I can cinch everything down with the cords that he's made for this. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. You know what? I think I can actually wrap up this entire antenna sitting here. So let's put well, you know what? I'll put this here. Let me get my glasses on so I can see. So Joshua made it so that this fits in. Oh, it fits in here. That's where it fits in. And this is the counterpoise. This is the radiator. I need to flip this around here. Right? Right. Here we go. Now, I'm going to wind this from here. Now, I didn't try to cinch down the other end of the antenna line, so I should just be able to pull this through, hopefully. And do this right here. You can see how this whole thing packs up pretty darn easily. I'll do it here with you. God, this morning is just absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I love Mount Mitchell. I wish I could have a cabin up here. My wife and I both would love one up here. I mean, don't get me wrong. In the winter, it is pretty extreme. Being such an outlier of such a, you know, just a really tall summit, you know, it is sort of extreme in the wintertime here, which is the reason why it's closed down so often. You just can't. It's not easily accessible with normal vehicles, and they don't want people to get hurt. So, okay, here we go. Let me hold this in and then pull this on. This is the counterpoise. This is just much smaller to pack away. Now you can always just buy this wire. This 26 gauge wire. I don't know where he gets it. I know he gets it directly from the wire company. That's something that he buys in very large quantities. But you can also get this stuff from, I think, Davis RF and the Wireman's where I usually buy mine if I'm just buying some. They're pretty convenient to here too. Okay, now I'll leave this on here, wrap this around. And there we go. That's the entire antenna. It fits in my KX2 pack very easily. I hope all that was on the video. I wasn't even looking to see. So I'll pack this up and take this off. So he actually put also on here a strap like this. This is elastic and it closes together, works fantastically. Now let's grab my throw line and put it up. So what I'll do is come over here and you can see that a little bit of it got out when I was pulling this out. This throw line does want to get caught. This particular thinner stuff, the 2 millimeter, wants to get caught. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna stick this back in here, it'll be fine. Sometimes this stuff looks knotted, but when you do it in a figure eight, it's not actually knotted. So it's not too hard to put together. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. This is so much fun. Probably by the time this video is posted, Mount Mitchell will be closed. I don't know if I can't remember when winter points start. So they actually tag on extra winter points for summits after a certain period. And you get 3 extra points on your summit. I don't really count my points much. It'll be forever before I actually have what is like the big thing all SOTA activators go for, which is SOTA goat status. It'll be a long time before I have that because that's 1,000 points. I'm somewhere underneath 200 points right now, and I've been doing SOTA for 2 years. I just don't have the time to... SOTA activations, this is sort of kind of an exception, but SOTA activations take a long time. They take more planning in general. They take hiking time, travel time, research time. All that stuff goes into it, which is part of the fun, really. But because it takes so much time, you know, it's just not as easy for me to do with my active family schedule. Now let's see, let's go ahead and pack this stuff up. Put my sunglasses on. I don't need this bag anymore. I'll put it up in the top of my pack. This is my SOTA pack here. Put this in here. My camera will eventually go in here as well. I won't do that now. So I usually place my throw line in the very bottom. It acts a little bit like a cushion. I put my KX2 on top of that. Put the knee board in here. Actually, I'll put it behind the KX2. There we go. And believe it or not, the back of this pack is so padded and so nice that it actually feels pretty comfortable when I do that. Then I put, this is the new 3-legged stool, which I've got to decide if I'm going to keep. I think I will. I got this at REI on some kind of special. And the reason I got it, besides the fact that I used it, Joshua gave it to me to use just for trying out during the W4G SOTA trip. Besides that, one of my readers actually wrote in about having a taller stool, and this one is definitely taller than my REI one, and how much better of a position that is, and I agree with that. I think that this is a better position. I do have a small stool, or a little camping chair, that I used when I was in Canada. I actually even prefer it over this. And you sit closer to the ground, but it's a pretty comfortable operating position, and there's less fatigue. The one negative with a 3-legged stool is that they can tend to cut off the blood flow to like one of your legs, depending on what kind of terrain you're on. That's happened to me before, and my leg will go to sleep, but I don't realize it. Then I get ready to stand up, and boom, I almost want to fall down. So this guy is packed up. We're ready to hit the trail again, head on. Hopefully maybe hit one more site before the end of the day. And yeah, man, this was fun. I really love this. Mount Mitchell is just a very special place. Do I even need to go on and on about it? This is just off of the Little Balsam Trail here. If you ever want to find this spot, it's right here. This is not far away. Someone's built this like kind of lean-to thing here. It's been here for ages. It was here last time I was here. But last time I was here, this was covered in rime ice and hoarfrost, and it was really cold. It was below freezing, but windy and damp feeling. So felt even more than that. So I'm going to pack up my camera, pack up everything. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you get a chance to go out and play radio. And, you know, I completely forgot to tell you what I was going to tell you about Pileups. Oh, my brain is just gone. I got too distracted talking about the kneeboard. Don't worry about pileups. When you encounter a pileup, my suggestion is just let your brain go. Try not to listen too hard and just kind of listen to the whole thing instead of like trying to pick out something particular, like a particular signal in it, because your brain's naturally going to hear something pop out of that noise, out of that pileup. And if you just hear one or two letters, the letters you want to avoid, and I did this once today at least, you want to avoid W, K, some of those really super common letters that are at the beginning of a call sign. N, W, K, A. Those things, when you send out just one letter like that, you're still going to probably get a lot of people. But I used W at one point today because I heard a pretty strong W signal, and I knew that if I sent a W, that would probably clear out a good 40% of the rest of the calls, and I could probably hear them pop out, and I did, and that worked. But normally, what you want to listen for are those other letters or a number, and send it, and then wait and send a question mark after it, and just wait for somebody to come back. Take your time. Remember that you're the one in charge of the pileup. The pileup's not in charge of you. So just take your time. Don't worry about it. I promise you, do not let this stop you from going and doing a CW activation. Pileups are just really not that big of a deal. In fact, they're kind of fun. I think even after my very first one, I thought it was exhilarating in a good way, not a scary way. And just manage the pileup, do it as they have to do it at your speed, the way you want to do it, and you take your time. And don't worry. People who really want your park or your summit, they'll keep calling you. Anyway, sorry, I got so sidetracked, I forgot to even mention that before. But anyway, I'll say goodbye here from the top of Mount Mitchell, and if you get a chance, go out and play a little radio, maybe try to help a fellow amateur radio operator or someone who's wanting to learn about radio, help them get into this wonderful pastime of ours. And if you have a chance at home, maybe hunt or chase some activators and just get on the air and have a good time. Don't let anybody tell you there's any one particular way to do this. Radio is all about flexibility and just enjoying the entire thing. So, so take care of yourselves, be kind to other people, and until next time, 7 threes.